Hey everybody, Sickness here again to talk to you about what I bought and what I watched today. One of my all-time favorite thrift stores, a store you've heard me talk about many a times. The store is called Liberty Thrift and Home Furnishings. They're having 50% off on all their stores this week, so I stopped at 2 of their stores and got some great stuff. The first thing I picked up was 8 new soundtracks. First one I grabbed here was the soundtrack to Mask of Zorro. I've still actually yet to watch this movie. I do own Mask of Zorro and The Legend of Zorro. I've had them for a few years now. I've just never gotten around to watching them. So now that I got this, I'll definitely have to check it out. Then I picked up the soundtrack to Bed of Roses, another movie I've owned for a little bit now, but I've still yet to watch, so I'll definitely have to check it out. Then I picked up the great soundtrack to A Night at the Roxbury. Not only a great movie, but a fantastic soundtrack. Best thing about the soundtrack, all the songs are mixed together, just like you would hear in a club. I love the idea of doing that. Very cool for a movie that's all club-based. Excellent soundtrack. Then I grabbed the soundtrack to another great film, and that is The Last Samurai. Then I picked up the soundtrack to Mr. Holland's Opus. Great movie. Looks like it's a pretty cool soundtrack. Definitely look forward to checking this one out. Then I grabbed the soundtrack to The Wedding Singer. This here is Volume 2. These are fantastic soundtracks. Great 80s compilations. Then I grabbed the soundtrack to I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. This one I'm not looking forward to really listening to. The bands on the back, just not really my thing, but trying to get all the soundtracks to all the movies I own, so had to pick it up. Then the last soundtrack I picked up was very cool, very happy to have this, and that's the soundtrack to Metropolis. This is the 80s Metropolis where they reissued it, put some color in, gave it a rockin', 80s pop rock soundtrack. This is great, has a lot of great bands on it actually, featuring stuff from Freddie Mercury, Pat Benatar, Loverboy, Billy Squier, Adam Ant, and many more. So if you love 80s, just pop rock, this is a great soundtrack. So that's it for all the soundtracks I picked up, so now onto the movies. And I did grab one DVD, and that was Switch. This movie here I've been looking at for a while now. I've come across this movie for $5 at a bunch of different stores over the past few months. I keep picking it up thinking, do I want to get it? Do I not want to get it? But I keep passing up on it. So today I got this for $1.50. Great deal. Definitely had to grab it. Then I grabbed 6 VHS tapes, all for 50 cents a piece. First one I grabbed here was the Weird Al Yankovic Video Library. This is awesome. Features great videos such as Fat, Smells Like Nirvana, Like a Surgeon, Eat It, Living with a Hernia, Dare to Be Stupid, and so on and so forth. Love Weird Al. Cannot wait to watch this. Then a TLC documentary with Lava Hunters, Living on the Edge. Awesome. Love TLC documentaries. I will pick up anything with that logo on it. Cannot wait to check this one out. Then I picked up The Big Chill. The synopsis sounded pretty interesting, but best of all, stars Jeff Goldblum, and that was all the more reason I needed to grab this. Then the next tale I picked up, definitely had to grab, full of cheesy goodness, and that is House Guest, starring Phil Hartman and Sinbad. This movie is great. It's just one big ball of cheese. Love this film, and definitely had to pick it up. Then I saved the best for last. A title I've been looking for a while now. I've known about this release. I come across it here and there. But every time I come across it, the artwork is always damaged. But this was brand new and unopened. And that is the 1995 VHS blockbuster release of Halloween. Look at that great cover art. Right there, Blockbuster presents Halloween. This is awesome. Again, brand new, unopened, still sealed. This is an excellent release. Love this. Maybe the artwork isn't the coolest, but I just love the fact that it just says Blockbuster presents. It's Halloween. This is awesome. Definitely glad to have this great release in my collection. So that's what I bought today, so now I'll try watch. And today I checked out Indie Fans and the Quest for Fortune and Glory. This was a great documentary. One of the strange things about it, though, they don't do much interviewing of indie fans. They talk more to people who were involved with the movie. They talk to people who were involved with the ride at Disneyland. They talked to some people at Legoland, because apparently Legoland was doing some Indiana Jones thing. And that's really it. They do go to a Comic-Con, and they do talk to some people who are actually dressed up as Indiana Jones. So that was the most of talking to indie fans they do. Besides that, they do go out in the street a little bit. Like they're in places like Las Vegas. And they talk to some people there off the street, but they're not necessarily Indiana Jones fans. They're just random people they have on the street who've seen Indiana Jones. They just go, "What's your favorite movie and what's your favorite scene?" These aren't really necessarily indie fans. These are just people who have seen the movie and like it. These aren't diehard fans. So I don't know. I kind of wish they would have maybe talked a little bit more to diehard indie fans and interviewed them a bit more. When the Crystal Skull was coming out, they were in line for it, and they talked a little bit to some people who were waiting in line for it, but they didn't really focus much on those people either. So, good and bad, because I kind of wish they would have talked to more indie fans, but at the same time, I didn't really care because the people who they were talking to, the people who again, were involved in the movies. I talked to some like stunt people, some clothing designers, a few other people. They also talked to, like I said, the people who were involved in designing the ride at Disneyland. That's actually kind of interesting. I really like that. I actually liked hearing about what those people had to say about, their time spent, working on the movies, or their time spent working on the ride, or, all that stuff. That was actually really interesting. So, although I find it weird that this movie's called, Indie fans, and they only talk to maybe a couple actual real Indiana Jones fans, even though it's kind of weird, it made up for it by the fact that they interviewed some really cool people, and it was really interesting to listen to. So if you're a fan of Indiana Jones, I would definitely recommend checking this one out. It is a great documentary. If you like stuff like Starweight and Ringers, like those kinds of documentaries, you're going to like this. Definitely worth checking out. I had a blast watching it. I'll definitely be watching it again. Great documentary. So that's it for what I bought when I watched today. Definitely got a ton of great stuff. Again, got that all from Liberty Thrift and Home Furnishings. Fantastic that all their stores right now are 50% off. I'll definitely be headed out to a couple more of their stores this weekend. Hopefully I'll get some more great stuff. And watching the Indiana Jones documentary, that was great. A little weird they didn't interview many fans, even though it's called Indie Fans. But still, it was a great documentary. A lot of great interviews. I definitely recommend it. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned to see what I bought and what I watch tomorrow. See ya.